is toast. Greetings and salutations, fellow pilots. This is Akirishin. I'm very excited to bring you the Kai 61 Hien Japanese fighter. An absolute beaut of a plane. The Kai 61 has two 20mm cannons that do 65 damage per second, with a rate of fire of 360 rounds per minute, which is not too bad for cannons. They have an effective firing range of 600 meters, again not too bad. It is also equipped with two 12.7mm machine guns, which do 42 damage per second, with a rate of fire of 700 rounds per minute, and an effective firing range of 500 meters, which is, fairly typical for machine guns, because, further away you get with machine guns, the less effective they are, of course. The Kai 61 is characterized as having a high airspeed and good boost. Good boost is a bit of an exaggeration. Like most Japanese fighters, it only has a 6-second boost, so I would say that's okay. Good, not so much, but okay. But of course, to accentuate that wonderful strength of having high airspeed, I've equipped Engine Tuning 2, which increases engine power by 5%, and Aircraft Polish, which increases the aircraft's top speed by 5%. I don't think there is any need for any maneuverability upgrades, like light airframe, for example, lightweight airframe, because this aircraft already has high maneuverability. Therefore, I would recommend upgrading its airspeed instead. Like most fighters, it has low survivability. Therefore, I have equipped Improved Covering 2, which decreases our chance of critical damage to wings and tail by 20% and increases the Kai 61's hit points by 5%. To further augment this aircraft's engine capabilities, I have equipped Engine Guru 1 and Engine Guru 2. If I had an additional 2 skill points, I would also equip Protection Expert, which would enhance the effects of our improved covering. You could also go with Aerodynamics Expert, because that would increase the effects of our aircraft polish and our engine tuning. In terms of ammunition, I have equipped Universal Ammunition for both our cannons and our machine guns. The Universal Ammunition for the machine guns does a high chance of fire with a medium chance of critical damage, which is consistent with machine guns having a high rate of fire, and therefore you can start a lot of fires. The Universal Ammunition for the cannons does equal parts fire and critical damage. This aircraft often catches fire, so I have equipped Automatic Fire Extinguisher, and to ensure that we keep this aircraft moving and maneuverable, I have equipped Control Surface Auto Trim. The Kai 61 is said to have a vulnerable engine, so I have equipped Automatic Engine Restarter. These are gold consumables which have a 60-second cooldown and all activate automatically. Their non-gold versions have a 90-second cooldown and activate manually. In terms of the aircraft specifications, the Kai 61's optimum altitude is 1,500 meters. It is squarely a mid-altitude fighter. However, you can, with our engine upgrades, you can go much higher than that. Optimum airspeed is 340 kilometers per hour. Top speed at best altitude, 600 kilometers per hour. On the dive, we can reach speeds in excess of 720 kilometers per hour. As this has high maneuverability and turns, the average time to turn 360 degrees is 8 seconds, which is very typical for the very agile Japanese fighters. Stall speed is 110 kilometers per hour. I have experienced a lot of stalling with this aircraft, so it can be an issue at times. One of the fantastic things about this aircraft are its paint schemes. You are looking at summer right now. Very unique. Winter, which is kind of meh. That's the one paint scheme that isn't that great. Desert. And probably my favorite, marine. I added the little flowers here. I think those look really, really neat. Okay, so what we are going to do now is head over to World of Warplanes website, use their compare aircraft tool to compare the Kai 61 to its other Tier 6 fighter peers. Alright, so we are here on World of Warplanes website using their compare aircraft tool, and I have lined up 3 other Tier 6 fighters to compare against the Kai 61. Now, why did I choose those 3 aircraft over the many other Tier 6 fighters? The criteria I used in choosing aircraft to compare to the Kai 61 were basically 2 factors. Number 1, the fighter must have at least high maneuverability. Number 2, it must be at least a mid-altitude fighter. Because those are basically the 2 reasons, the 2 main reasons why you might choose the Kai 61 over any other Tier 6 fighter, because the Kai 61 has high maneuverability and horizontal turns, and it also has mid-altitude capabilities. So, first up we have the Bell P-39N-1 Airacobra. Now this is a premium aircraft. We also have the Supermarine Spitfire 5, which is a British tech tree fighter. Looking first at armaments, we see that the Airacobra and the Spitfire are both indicated to have superior gun armaments as compared to the Kai 61. So why is that? Looking first at the P-39, it has 2 12.7mm machine guns, 1 37mm cannon, and 4 7.62mm machine guns. Now, if you were to take all of the Airacobra's machine guns and its cannon and add up the damage per second that those armaments would cause collectively if they were all to strike a target simultaneously, the Airacobra would do a total of 352 damage per second. In comparison, the Kai 61's machine guns and cannons do a total of 214 damage per second. So that is why the Airacobra is indicated to have superior firepower as compared to the Kai 61. Looking next to the Spitfire, it has 4 303 Browning machine guns, and two 20mm Hispano cannons. Again, if you were to look at the damage the Spitfire's machine guns and cannons would do if they all collectively struck a target at the same time, they would do a total of 280 damage per second. Again, as compared to the Kai-61's 214 damage per second. Moving on to survivability, the Airacobra has slightly more hit points than the Kai-61, but not to any degree that would make a significant difference. In fact, when you look at the numbers for survivability, both aircraft have a total of 7 in the survivability category. The Spitfire and the Kai-61 have the same number of hit points. In terms of airspeed, and we're talking of course about top speed at best altitude, the Kai-61 and the Airacobra have the same airspeed, whereas the Spitfire has a 40 km/h advantage. Maximum dive speed, the Airacobra has a 20 km/h advantage over the Kai-61 and the Spitfire, which the Kai-61 and the Spitfire have the same maximum dive speed. Average time to turn 360 degrees, both the Kai-61 and the Spitfire have the same turning rate. Both aircraft are incredibly maneuverable, whereas the Airacobra has a 1 second deficit as compared to the Kai-61. In terms of rate of roll, the Spitfire and the Kai-61 are the same, whereas the Airacobra has a 20 degree per second advantage over either the Kai-61 or the Spitfire. In terms of optimum airspeed, the Airacobra has a 40 km/h advantage over the Kai-61. The Spitfire has a 17 km/h disadvantage as compared to the Kai-61. Both the Airacobra and the Spitfire will stall prior to the Kai-61, the Airacobra being the worst in that category. Optimum altitude, the Airacobra and the Kai-61 are the same, whereas the Spitfire has a 100-meter disadvantage as compared to the Kai-61. Rate of climb, the Kai-61 has a higher rate of climb as compared to both the Airacobra and the Spitfire. So all in all, these aircraft are very similar. The Airacobra has a significant armament advantage over both the Kai-61 and the Spitfire, but it has a 1 second longer average time to turn 360 degrees than either the Kai-61 or the Spitfire. And that is incredibly important because many times you get in those turning dogfights where a second makes a huge difference. And the Airacobra could have the best guns out there, but if it can't put those guns on the Kai-61, it doesn't make a difference. All right, moving on. We have the Supermarine Spitfire 5, the German version of the Spitfire. It is a premium aircraft. It has superior gun armaments, basically the same as the regular Spitfire. It has the same top speed at best altitude as the Kai-61. However, where the Kai-61 excels over the German Spitfire is in rate of roll by 20 degrees per second. It also has a higher airspeed, optimum airspeed, as compared to the German Spitfire. Further, the German Spitfire will stall prior to the Kai-61. where the Ki-61 has a disadvantage as compared to the German Spitfire is with regard to optimum altitude. The German Spitfire has a 500-meter advantage over the Ki-61. However, the Ki-61 does have a higher rate of climb. So both of these aircraft are comparable to one another, but overall there is an argument to be made that the German premium Spitfire does have an advantage over the Ki-61, both in terms of gun armaments, but also a 500-meter altitude advantage, which can be significant. Okay, so I hope that helps to put the Ki-61 in context with its Tier 6 peers. Alright, so having reviewed my build for this aircraft, having gone over its specifications, having compared it to its Tier 6 peers, what we're going to do now is head into a battle and see how it actually performs. So we will be fighting in the Ki-61 over the Archipelago Reconnaissance by Fire Theater of Operation. We'll be headed to the forward airstrip first, and then either on to the garrison or to the stronghold at center map.
Pilots, get ready for action. Let's go.
We have a 6-second boost, which is typical of your Japanese fighters. Just a beautiful looking aircraft. And you see how effective these cannons can be.
We've taken control of the airfield.
Alright, it looks like our team is meeting resistance over the stronghold, so we'll go over here and give them a hand. Well, that's a lot of ground attack aircraft. Work these ground attack aircraft on the side. That is ideal. Just don't snuggle up to them too close because they'll eat a bomb. Just like that, that's what you want to avoid. If we'd been too close, we would have eaten that bomb. Also, when you're fighting these ground attack aircraft, the bombers and things like that, if you can aim for the gunner, the rear gunner, sometimes you can knock out the gunner and save yourself a lot of heartache. Careful there, we don't get too close to that. that was close. So what we did there is we just maneuvered up and out of the way, let it pass. We didn't have the health to do a straight-on attack. And honestly, I don't think we have the health for that rear gun. Whew. Jeez. I'm trying to hit the rear gunner if I can. Obviously he's still firing. Let's see, did that collision kill? Nope, still going. Oh well. Alright, so we've got a Mustang coming in. We do not want to go head on to it. Looks like it's diving down. We are definitely more maneuverable than the Mustang. Okay, got a fighter here. F-109. I am just maneuvering here, trying to avoid that heavy fighter fire coming in. Let's see, is he going to be in range? There we go. Multi-roll coming in. Alright, what is this? Mustang again. He is toast. BF-109 again here. Definitely more maneuverable than a BF-109. Okay. Whoa, hello. Dive down below that fire, let it pass, hopefully. Where'd it go? What was that even? Yeah, we've got something coming in on us here. Ah, mosquito. Alright, so we will come into this airfield down here. It looks like we've got something coming in, a fighter. Probably meeting those two aircraft there. Mustang 1A. That's a Mustang with cannons. Just reviewed that recently. Excellent aircraft. And we need to take it out here before it secures this garrison over here. We are not in range yet though. There we go. Should do it. Okay. Heavy fighter over here. P-38. Whoa. Oh no, I was afraid of that.
Great job today. We'll be waiting
I was
for you
hoping
back home.
I was hoping we were gonna miss it, but he pulled up and got us there. Oh well. Out in a blaze of glory. All right, so Flying Warrior badge, Conqueror, #1 spot on the team, almost top grade rank. Hunt for Hawk, Subjugator, Hunt for Stormbird, Effective Fire, Hat Trick, and Subjugator. Okay, so 15 kills, over 4,600 in damage to aerial targets, over 12,400 combat points. So yeah, very successful sortie for the Kai-61. Beautiful looking aircraft. And I think part of also what makes this such a awesome looking aircraft is, of course, the paint schemes. It's just, you know, usually it's the Germans that have the best paint schemes, but this, I think this is maybe one of the best paint schemes in the game. Alright, so I hope you have really enjoyed this video, and if you get an opportunity to fly the Kai-61, I hope you have great success.